Hi, welcome to Sandwich Revolver.
A show about movies and video games.
I'm Carl.
And I'm John.
On our very first episode, we'll be talking about John Wick Chapter 2.
Ooh.
How this review works is we break the review into categories such as directing, acting, story, cinematography, sound,
And of course, we like to compare it to other video games.
Sometimes when you go home after seeing a movie, you just want to play a video game. It's like the movie.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things. You just get in that mood. Since we are Sandwich Revolver, we will be giving the review a score out of 6 sandwiches. So Carl, what did you think of the direction of this movie?
Well, director Chad Stahelski comes from a choreography and stuntman background, and it really shows in John Wick Chapter 2. Every segment of this movie, whether it's a car chase, a shootout, a knife fight, they all have their own soul and seem unique. A lot of that has to do with Stahelski's relationship with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, talk about a fucking match made in heaven, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially since you're saying that he was a stunt coordinator. And I mean, Keanu Reeves, by the way, did all of his own stunts in this movie.
You have a director who has a stuntman background, who does a lot of really crazy stunts in his movies, and you have an actor who does all his own stunts, does the research into martial arts, does the research into firearms, and it really shows in the acting in this film.
You know, you see him when he's reloading his weapons, when he's inspecting them. You can tell that Keanu Reeves spent hours and hours and hours at a gun range with all different kinds of weapons. I mean, you see him actually run out of ammo and have to reload his guns, and you're like, you don't ever see that in movies anymore. Apart from Keanu Reeves, there are a few other actors in this movie that we'd like to talk about.
Specifically, Common. Common was a huge surprise for me in this movie. I've seen him in other roles, and he's been okay. He is phenomenal in John Wick Chapter 2. Ruby Rose, who hasn't been in a lot, besides Orange is the New Black and the new Resident Evil movie, does a great job. That's a huge surprise. I don't want to talk too much about her because her character is so interesting in this movie.
Yeah, let it be a surprise.
Let it be a surprise. Ian McShane's back.
That's right. As the head of the hotel again.
He's a personal favorite of yours, right?
Yeah. I always think he has a nice air about him. You want him to be on your side. Surprise, Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh yeah,
is back.
Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves back again. I was kind of hoping that Carrie-Anne Moss was going to be in this movie too. That'd be really fun. When I first heard they were making a sequel for John Wick, I was worried that it was going to be like Taken
2 and Taken 3.
Or Take 3 N.
Yeah, God,
or,
Tag 3
or the
N.
Death Wish movies where it's the same thing over and over again.
It really could have just been John Wick 2.0.
Or Hangover, where it's going to be the same thing done, or it's like, they killed this dog again! No, not this dog!
Thankfully, it is not John Wick Rehash or John Wick 2.0. It is John Wick Chapter 2.
Someone comes and visits him and say, hey, you owe me a debt for doing this. I need you to go do this. And John Wick's like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then he does it anyway. And then things get messy. Really beautiful and messy. It really feels like a continuation of a legacy action movie series.
You know, actually, you make a good point about that. One of the first things I thought while walking out of this film is, this feels like the sequel to a long-running series from, like, the mid-'80s. You know how these days there's like, 5 Die Hard movies? It honestly feels surprising that someone could make a new movie like this that feels so much like those old 80s and 90s action flicks.
One thing what blew me away about this movie was the way it looked. To see this movie in a theater. I know ticket prices are absurd right now. I think we paid like $15 to see this movie.
Go on a Tuesday, go see a matinee, just...
Yeah, whatever you have to do to see this movie in a theater on a big screen. If you have an 80-inch TV at home, we watch it there.
That's fine.
Or see it in IMAX, or see it in 40X. This movie is gorgeous.
Who did the cinematography for this
Dan
movie?
Lawton. The guy who did Crimson Peak and Silent Hill. His eye and his work behind the camera is so interesting. You get such beautiful imagery. I know in Crimson Peak, it's a gothic horror background, so there's already established visuals for gothic horror.
Exactly.
And he made those richer.
Silent
Hill has such an iconic horror video game look. It's so unique. There's not a lot of video games that are like it. So to create a look for an action movie that has such a library of different looks throughout the years. Like that genre has such different looks. To make something that looks so vibrant and cool and slick.
It stands out among the rest of its peers of action movies.
His use of anamorphic lenses in this film, I just want to take some of these shots and hang them on my wall. My favorite part of the movie, just the way it looked, was the end of, it was in Act 3, when they're in the art gallery.
I know exactly what you're talking about, yes.
There's this weird exhibit that has to do with senses, and the way they shoot this, it's kind of like a new take on the funhouse mirror chase.
Yeah.
That's in so many old noirs. Another thing that's great is the sound. I personally love when action movies take time to make the bullets, the punches, and the stabs, and the crashes sound great. John Wick Chapter 2, the punches are like Michael Mann quality. Not the punches, the gunshots are Michael Mann quality.
It makes you wish other action movies paid this much attention to sound as far as gunshots go, or even the sound of physicality when people are fighting each other. Even video games, you can't play Call of Duty anymore after watching a movie like this. Everything sounds pitiful now versus how it should be in real life, which is loud and in your face. Another element that at least appealed to me a lot was the soundtrack. Tyler Bates, he did 300, he did Watchmen. He works with Marilyn Manson at the moment, but I mean, he's a great film composer as well. The soundtrack is very punchy. There's a lot of percussion to it, and it doesn't overstay its welcome, but it also doesn't put itself in the background where you don't even notice it. During the filler segments where it's, moving to different scenes, the music keeps you entertained. You're there. It tells you this is a badass revenge story, but it's not like here's a bunch of guitars.
So just another reason to see this movie in a theater, like a Regal theater,
or even an IMAX theater.
There's someplace that has really good sound because you want to hear everything bunch and pop and explode, and
it'll make the experience that much better.
It's just, we paid a lot of money to see this movie and we were not disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So get your money's worth.
Yeah. Don't watch it on your tablet or your phone. You'll enjoy it. It's a great film, but you're not going to get the same experience. I don't know about you, viewer, but whenever we walk out of a film, we always want to go home and say, hey, what kind of video game can we play that's going to replicate or recreate the feeling of this movie?
Sometimes it's really hard to do. And unfortunately, for John Wick Chapter 2, you think, going out of this movie, you're thinking, oh man, there's going to be a lot of shooters that are going to make me feel just like John Wick. But
no, there's next to none.
There's almost none. I came home and I looked at my collection and I'm like, there's nothing I can play that's going to feel like this. Now, why is that, Carl?
No, it's because John Wick, if you want to have a perfect John Wick game, it's going to be half shooter, half a Street Fighter or something, or like half fighting game. Anyway, we came up with 3 games that were close to John Wick, or at least could create a similar experience that could fill the urge while we wait for John Wick 3.
And please, if you disagree with our game list or can think of other games after seeing the movie, please put it down in the comments below. We would love to know.
We want to be able to play a game that is like John Wick. And don't say the John Wick video game, because we know that's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out. But we want it now. The 3 games, yes. One being Hitman, the Hitman series.
Yeah. Why the Hitman series? Besides the obvious.
So Hitman, well, I mean, it is because of the obvious. There's a lot of stealth to it. He's a professional hitman. He takes care of his weapons. He knows what he's doing. But that's really going to be it. It's really the story setup of you are a hitman and you will take down people.
Hitman goes into the stealth aspects of John Wick, which there are some in the movie.
There
are some moments where he is a stealth killer.
He is not a gung-ho, shoot everybody up.
Not right away.
No.
But once you get to the gung-ho part, that's where Hitman falls flat.
But he's only gung-ho because he has to.
Yeah.
He would rather be able to just get out of there.
It's survival.
Yeah.
The second game, now I know there's 3 in this series, but we picked the 3rd one, the Max Payne 3. Max Payne 1 and 2 have a lot of shooting in them, and they're great games. But Max Payne 3 has the right amount of shooting, right amount of variety of weapons,
and also the color palette
and the art direction of Max Payne 3 really gels with John Wick.
Yeah,
they're both very colorful. Now the last game we chose was the Hotline Miami series. Hotline Miami has a lot of quick maneuvers, which John Wick moves really quickly. Hotline Miami has a lot of weapons variety. You'll be shooting, you run out of bullets, you grab a knife, you're gonna knife someone, you lose your knife or you throw your knife, and you get your bat or whatnot. And that variety of both stealth and speed, combined with the sound, this great sound design in Hotline Miami, really makes us think of John Wick. And if you are good at playing Hotline Miami, you'll feel like John Wick.
John Wick is quick and good with his weapons because he's trying to survive. That's exactly what you're trying to do in Hotline Miami. I mean, any shooter you play, other than that, you're typically going to be, oh, red screen of death, I'm going to hide behind cover. But typically that means you're just constantly stopping. Despite the fact that you can live longer, it's actually a slower paced game. Versus if you're going to die in one hit, you're going to be really fast, very maneuverable. And that on top of like the sound of the guns and the music, that's what makes it like John Wick. You're trying to survive, you got kick-ass sounding guns, and it's fast. So, as we said in the beginning, we will be scoring this out of 6 sandwiches here on Sandwich Revolver. So I personally would rate this movie 5 out of 6 sandwiches. That is a 9 out of 10.
I would agree with you. I'd go with a 5 out of 6. This movie is a good 9 out of 10, 90%, solid A effort, not A+. It's a solid, fun action movie that really respects all the elements that go into a good action movie.
You will definitely remember it, and it will definitely stand out among its peers.
So that's our show. Once again, I'm Carl Diamond.
And I'm John Reeve.
If you liked our show, please comment below. If you didn't like it, also comment below. Hit like, subscribe, and we'll be doing more videos in the coming months. So keep an eye out. And for Sandwich Revolver, thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.